Buckle up, everybody, because today we're diving deep into Antarctica.
Ooh, Antarctica.
Yeah, you guys sent in this YouTube video, and
I saw that one.
it's called Elon Musk Just Revealed the Terrifying Truth Behind Antarctica. And, well, we're going to unpack it, see if there's any truth to these claims, and just explore.
Yeah, it's an interesting title, right? Because it uses Elon Musk
For sure.
as this kind of like hook to grab our attention.
Right.
But the real interesting part of it is that it suggests that Antarctica, this frozen wasteland that we all picture in our minds,
Yeah.
it might have been a tropical rainforest way back when.
I know, it's such a crazy idea.
Yeah.
Million-year-old DNA, hidden mountain ranges, a singing ice shelf. Like, where do we even begin?
Right. It sounds like a sci-fi movie.
I know.
But I think beyond the kind of like sensationalism
Yeah.
of a title like that,
Right.
there's a serious point here. And that's what happened to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Could be a really important lesson for us today
Absolutely.
about climate change.
Yeah, the past can definitely inform the present when it comes to looking at Earth's climate.
For sure.
So let's dive into this video.
Let's do it.
So right away, it talks about this discovery of million-year-old diatom DNA in the Scotia Sea.
Right.
Diatoms are a type of phytoplankton.
Tiny little creatures.
Yeah, and so finding their DNA that far back, it kind of suggests that Antarctica was once much warmer than it is today.
Right. It really challenges that traditional view
Yeah,
that Antarctica has always been this frozen continent.
right.
And it opens up the possibility that it had a very different past.
For sure.
A much warmer climate and maybe even teeming with life.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The video then goes on to say that they found a bunch of fossils on James Ross Island, which is marine creatures, dinosaurs, birds. They even found 50-million-year-old sperm cells. Can you believe that?
I know. That's insane. It's incredible the diversity of fossils that are found on James Ross Island.
Yeah.
I mean, dinosaurs, birds.
Yeah.
It suggests a much warmer climate.
Yeah.
Obviously. And then the 50-million-year-old sperm cells.
I know.
That's just incredible.
Makes you wonder,
Yeah.
what else is down there?
Totally.
Under all that ice?
Right. Just gives you a glimpse into the rich biodiversity that must have existed in the past
Yeah, for sure.
in Antarctica.
So it also talks about this massive ice fish breeding colony that they found in the Weddell Sea, something like 60 million nests.
Yeah, that was a huge discovery.
I know, crazy.
Because it really changed our understanding of these Antarctic ecosystems.
Yeah.
Like before that, we thought there were just a few fish here and there, but to find
A breeding colony.
a breeding colony
Mhm.
of that size suggests a very complex
Yeah.
and stable food web, even in these really seemingly inhospitable conditions.
It really is a testament to the resilience of life. I mean, even in the most extreme environment.
Totally.
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
The video also talks about scientists finding sponge organisms
Yeah.
thriving beneath the ice sheets.
Right. Now, this is where things get really interesting because we're talking about sponges living beneath kilometers of ice.
I know, that changes everything.
Like, it really challenges our assumptions about what life can tolerate. Right.
Yeah, and it makes you think about what else might be out there, maybe on other planets.
Totally. Yeah. If life can exist in these extreme environments on Earth,
Yeah.
could it exist in even more extreme places like the icy moons of Jupiter or Saturn?
Oh, that's a good point.
Right. It really opens up the possibilities
Yeah.
for finding life beyond Earth.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So back to Antarctica.
Yep.
It talks about them finding a hidden river ecosystem beneath the Larsen ice shelf.
Yeah.
They found shrimp-like crustaceans swimming around down there.
That was a mind-blowing discovery.
I know.
Because, again, it shows that even beneath
Kilometers.
kilometers of ice, there's this hidden world of life going on.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a little cave or something.
No.
It's like this big chamber
Right.
with a rugged roof.
Yeah.
And the water was flowing in like 5 distinct layers.
It's like discovering a whole new world
I know.
beneath the ice, right?
Yeah,
It really just underscores how much we still don't know
totally.
about these intricate workings of Antarctica.
And here's another little tidbit.
Okay.
They were studying this chamber when they detected seismic waves from the Tonga Ha'apai volcano eruption.
Wow.
Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That happened thousands of kilometers away.
Right. And it just goes to show
I know.
that even these seemingly isolated environments
Yeah.
are actually connected to the rest of the planet.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect, or like you drop a pebble in a pond and the ripples just keep going and going.
Precisely. Everything's interconnected.
So, okay.
Yeah.
We have this frozen continent
Yeah.
that may or may not have been a tropical paradise.
Right.
We have dinosaurs, we have birds, we have this hidden mountain range, but how,
The big question.
yeah, how did this all happen?
All right, how did this dramatic transformation occur?
Yeah, how did Antarctica go from potentially being this lush environment to being completely covered in ice?
Right, and there are a few theories.
Okay, well, let's hear them, lay them on me.
Okay, so the first one revolves around global climate change during the Cenozoic era.
Okay.
That's the era that started about 66 million years ago
Okay.
and continues to this day.
Right.
Basically, what happened is carbon dioxide levels started to decline,
Okay.
leading to a drop in global temperatures.
Gotcha.
And that cooling triggered the formation of vast ice sheets.
So like a global ice age?
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
But it's important to remember that this cooling happened over millions of years.
Right.
It wasn't like an overnight thing.
Okay, so a gradual process.
Right. And before this cooling, Antarctica had average temperatures that range from like 30 to 51 degrees Fahrenheit, so warm enough for dinosaurs to roam.
Dinosaurs in Antarctica.
It's hard to imagine,
That is crazy.
isn't it?
So what's the other theory?
The other theory focuses on changes in ocean currents, specifically the Drake Passage.
The Drake Passage, and that's the body of water.
Yeah, that separates South America from Antarctica.
Okay, gotcha.
And so around 35 million years ago, the Drake Passage deepened,
Okay.
and that led to the formation of the Antarctic Circumpolar Current.
Oh, okay.
It's a powerful current that flows clockwise around Antarctica.
And how does that affect Antarctica's climate?
Well, this current basically acts like a barrier.
Okay.
It prevents warmer waters from the north
Gotcha.
from reaching Antarctica.
So it's like isolating it.
Exactly. It isolates the continent
Okay.
and leads to its gradual cooling.
So it's like a giant wall of cold water
Sure.
keeping Antarctica in this deep freeze.
Right. And this brings us to a potential combined theory,
Okay.
because the deepening of the Drake Passage might have also increased rainfall in Antarctica.
Okay.
And this increased rainfall would have led to something called silicate weathering.
Silicate weathering. Okay, break that down for me.
It's a little complex,
Yeah.
but basically it's a natural process where rainfall erodes rocks that contain silicate minerals.
Okay.
And this erosion reacts with carbon dioxide in the atmosphere,
Gotcha.
trapping it in limestone formations.
So it's removing CO2 from the atmosphere.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that would have contributed to a further drop in global temperatures.
Wow. So it's like a chain reaction.
Right.
Okay, so more rainfall, more CO2 removal, more cooling, and boom, we have a frozen Antarctica.
Right. It wasn't just one thing.
Right.
It was a combination of factors
Right.
working together over millions of years.
That's fascinating, but, how does this all relate to us today?
That's where it gets a little scary.
Uh-oh. Okay, give it to me.
All right, so before we get into the parallels between Antarctica's past and our present,
Yeah.
let's just appreciate the scale of what happened.
Yeah.
We're talking about a continent that went from lush rainforests
Potentially.
to being completely encased in ice.
It's a huge change.
It is. It's massive.
It's crazy to think about how powerful those natural processes are.
Right, and that's why it's a little scary to think about,
Yeah.
because we are seeing changes happening today.
Right. So what kind of parallels are we talking about? Give me some examples.
Okay, so remember those heat waves that hit both polar regions in 2022?
Yeah. Yeah, like the whole planet was having a fever.
Yeah, and in Antarctica, average temperatures soared to 8.6 degrees Fahrenheit above normal.
Wow, that's a big jump.
It is, and it's concerning.
So could Antarctica start thawing out like it did millions of years ago?
It's possible.
Okay, well, that's not good.
No, and then there was the breakoff of the A76A iceberg.
Oh, right. That was the biggest one.
Yeah, the largest iceberg in the world at the time.
Yeah.
And it broke free from Antarctica's ice shelf.
It was gigantic.
It was massive, and it started drifting toward the Drake Passage.
So what happens when these big icebergs break off? What are the implications?
Well, as they drift and eventually melt,
Yeah.
they contribute to rising sea levels, and that can have devastating consequences
Yeah.
for coastal communities worldwide.
It's definitely a reminder of what could happen with a warming climate.
Exactly.
What about that ancient ice sheet that was retreating super fast during the last ice age?
Right. Scientists were studying that,
Yeah.
and they found that it was retreating at a rate of over 2,000 feet per day.
2,000 feet per day? That's faster than the Empire State Building is tall.
It's incredibly fast.
What does that tell us about what could happen with the ice in Greenland and Antarctica today?
It suggests that ice sheets can melt much faster than we previously thought.
Okay, so melting ice sheets, rising sea levels, this is all sounding a little dire.
It is a bit concerning.
Are there any other connections between Antarctica's past and our present climate?
Well, the video also talks about the depletion of the ozone layer.
Right, the ozone hole. That was a big deal back in the day.
Right, and scientists have discovered that the depletion of the ozone layer actually contributes to global warming,
Okay.
which in turn accelerates the melting of ice in Antarctica.
So it's like a vicious cycle.
Exactly.
Warming weakens the ozone layer. More warming, more ice melt. Not good.
Not good at all.
So we're seeing that everything is connected, right? Like that volcanic eruption in Tonga
Right.
sent shockwaves to a subglacial chamber in Antarctica.
Exactly.
It's all connected.
It is, and that's why understanding Antarctica's past is so important.
Yeah.
Because it gives us valuable insights into how our planet responds to change.
Right.
And offers warnings about what could happen.
Yeah, it's like looking into a crystal ball, but a crystal ball of ice.
In a way, yes.
Well, this has been a lot to process. We've gone from ancient rainforests to melting ice sheets.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming, but also really fascinating.
It is.
But I'm ready for something a little lighter now.
Okay.
What else does this video have in store?
Well, before we get too bogged down in the doom and gloom,
Yeah.
Antarctica also has some surprising
Okay.
and even delightful secrets.
Delightful secrets. Okay, I'm intrigued.
All right, so there's more to this continent than just melting ice and scary climate parallels.
So what other surprises does this icy continent hold?
Well, for starters, did you know that Antarctica is home to the largest desert in the world?
Wait a minute, a desert in Antarctica. I thought deserts were hot and sandy.
That's a common misconception.
Okay.
A desert is defined by its lack of precipitation,
Okay.
not temperature.
All right.
And the McMurdo Dry Valleys in Antarctica receive less than 50 millimeters of rain per year,
Wow.
making them one of the driest places on Earth.
So instead of scorching sand dunes, we have towering ice dunes.
Not quite. While there's plenty of ice surrounding the area,
Yeah.
the dry valleys themselves are largely ice-free.
Oh, okay.
And you find vast expanses of gravel and, believe it or not, sand dunes.
Sand dunes in Antarctica. That's wild.
It is.
The video says they can reach up to 70 meters high and 200 meters wide. It looks like something out of this world.
It does. It's very alien landscape.
Yeah.
And that's why the dry valleys are actually a valuable research site for scientists who are studying Mars.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, if you're going to study a barren, windswept landscape, that's probably the closest you can get without leaving Earth.
Right. And these dunes aren't static. They're constantly on the move.
Oh, really? How fast are they moving?
They're shifting at a rate of about 1.5 meters per year.
That's pretty fast for a sand dune.
It is, and unfortunately, climate change is the culprit.
Oh, no. So even in this seemingly desolate landscape, we're seeing the effects of climate change.
Exactly. As temperatures rise, the ice in the surrounding areas melts,
Right.
which destabilizes the dunes and causes them to shift.
So scientists are probably racing against time to study these dunes before they disappear.
They are. It's like a piece of Earth's history slowly vanishing.
That's sad.
It is.
Okay, well, let's move on from deserts to something a little more exciting. What about volcanoes?
Volcanoes?
Yeah, are there volcanoes in Antarctica?
There are.
Wow, this episode just keeps getting more interesting.
Antarctica is full of surprises.
Okay, so tell me about these volcanoes.
Well, the video specifically mentions Mount Erebus,
Mount Erebus.
which is the southernmost active volcano on Earth.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's located on Ross Island,
Okay.
and it stands at a towering 3,800 meters tall.
Wow, can you imagine an active volcano rising out of all that ice?
It's quite a sight.
So it's active.
It is. It's been active for over 3 decades,
Wow.
and its activity has actually intensified in recent years.
Intensified.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a little concerning.
It is something that scientists are monitoring closely.
Right, but Mount Erebus isn't just about potential hazards, right?
Right. It's also a source of scientific fascination.
Okay.
Because despite the extreme environment, scientists have discovered life thriving around its heat.
Life around an active volcano in Antarctica. That's amazing. What kind of life are we talking about?
Well, in 2013, a team of researchers went to the summit of Mount Erebus,
Wow.
and they discovered microorganisms living in ice caves near the summit.
Wow, so even in the most unexpected places, life finds a way.
Exactly. It's a testament to the adaptability and resilience of life.
Absolutely.
And speaking of unexpected discoveries,
Yeah.
Antarctica also has a musical side.
Wait, what? Antarctica has music?
It does. Have you ever heard of a singing ice shelf?
A singing ice shelf? You're pulling my leg.
I'm completely serious.
Okay, tell me more.
The Ross Ice Shelf, which is the largest ice shelf in Antarctica,
Okay.
produces a continuous seismic hum. like a
Cool.
low-frequency
Is
song.
it some kind of creature making the noise?
No, it's actually the wind.
The wind. Okay, how did that work?
Well, as the wind blows across the snow dunes on the ice shelf,
Yeah.
it creates vibrations.
Okay.
And those vibrations resonate through the ice,
Wow.
creating this continuous hum.
So it's like the wind is playing a giant instrument.
It is.
But we can't hear it, right? Because it's a low frequency?
That's right. It's too low for the human ear to hear.
Okay, but how do scientists know it's there?
They've installed seismic sensors on the ice shelf
Oh,
to
okay.
capture the sound.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And by studying these sounds,
Yeah.
they can learn about the stability of the ice shelf.
That's incredible.
It's like the ice shelf is singing to us, telling us about its health.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Right.
Wow, this whole deep dive has been a wild ride.
It has.
Ancient rainforests, hidden mountain ranges, singing ice shelves, giant sand dunes.
Antarctica is full of surprises.
It is. It really makes you appreciate the power of nature and the importance of understanding our planet's history. And it all started with that YouTube video claiming that Elon Musk had revealed some terrifying truth about Antarctica.
That's right. But even though we didn't get any secret revelations from Elon Musk,
Right.
we did unearth a treasure trove of information
He did.
about this incredible continent.
So what's the biggest takeaway for you?
I think for me, the biggest takeaway is the realization that everything is connected,
Yeah.
from that volcanic eruption in Tonga
Right.
to the movement of sand dunes in Antarctica.
Everything is interconnected.
Everything is interconnected.
And we're all part of this big web of life.
Exactly.
I mean, this deep dive has just sparked such a sense of wonder in me and a renewed appreciation for this planet.
That's great.
And it's also made me want to learn more and explore further and do my part in protecting this amazing place for future generations.
That's the spirit.
Well, thanks to all of you for joining us on this incredible journey to Antarctica.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the fascinating world of knowledge and discovery.
See you then.
Okay, after all of that climate talk and potential doom and gloom of rising sea levels,
Yeah.
I am ready for something a little bit lighter.
Okay, good.
So what else does this video have in store for us? What other fascinating secrets does Antarctica hold?
Well, Antarctica is a land of extremes.
Yeah.
And even within its frozen landscape, we find some really unexpected wonders.
Okay, lay it on me.
So did you know that Antarctica is home to the largest desert in the world?
Wait, a desert? In Antarctica. But deserts are hot and sandy.
See, that's a common misconception.
Okay.
The defining characteristic of a desert isn't temperature.
Okay.
It's the lack of precipitation.
Oh, okay.
And the McMurdo Dry Valleys in Antarctica receive less than 50 millimeters of rain per year,
Wow.
making them one of the driest places on Earth.
So instead of like scorching sand dunes, we have towering dunes of ice.
Not exactly.
Okay.
There's plenty of ice in the surrounding areas,
Yeah.
but the dry valleys themselves are largely ice-free.
Oh.
And you find vast expanses of gravel
Okay.
and, believe it or not, sand dunes.
Sand dunes in Antarctica.
It's true.
Wow.
They can reach up to 70 meters high and 200 meters wide.
That's incredible.
Pretty wild, right?
It is. The video is showing some pictures and it looks like Mars.
Yeah, the dry valleys are a really valuable research site for scientists who are studying Mars-like environments.
Oh, that makes sense. If you want to study a barren, windswept landscape, that's got to be the closest you can get without leaving Earth.
Pretty much.
And are those dunes just staying there? Or are they moving around?
Actually, they're constantly on the move.
Really?
Yeah.
How fast?
They're shifting at a rate of about 1.5 meters per year.
Wow, that's pretty fast for a sand dune.
It is, and unfortunately, climate change is contributing to this movement.
Oh no, so even in this like desolate landscape,
Yeah,
we're seeing the fingerprints of climate change.
exactly.
Wow.
As temperatures rise,
Yeah.
the ice in the surrounding areas melts, destabilizes the dunes,
Gotcha.
and causes them to shift.
So scientists are racing against time to study these formations then.
Yeah, they are, before they change even more drastically.
It's like a piece of Earth's history slowly disappearing.
Yeah, it is. It's sad.
Okay, well, let's move on from deserts to something maybe a little more exciting.
Right.
What about volcanoes? Are there volcanoes in Antarctica?
There are.
What? No way.
Yeah.
This episode just keeps getting more interesting.
Antarctica's full of surprises.
Okay, so tell me about these volcanoes.
So, the video mentions Mount Erebus,
Oh, Erebus.
which is the southernmost active volcano on Earth.
That's pretty cool.
It's located on Ross Island,
Okay.
and it stands at a towering 300 to 800 meters tall.
Wow. Can you imagine an active volcano rising out of all that ice?
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible sight.
So it's still active today.
It is. It's been active for over 3 decades.
Wow.
And its volcanic activity has actually intensified in recent years.
Intensified.
Yeah,
Okay, well, that's a little concerning.
it's definitely something that scientists are monitoring closely.
Okay.
But Mount Erebus isn't just about potential hazards.
Right.
It's also a source of scientific fascination.
Okay. In what way?
Well, despite the extreme environment,
Yeah.
scientists have discovered life thriving around its heat.
Life around an active volcano in Antarctica.
Yes,
That's amazing.
it is.
What kind of life are we talking about?
Well, in 2013, a team of researchers braved the elements
Okay.
to reach the summit of Mount Erebus.
Wow.
And they discovered microorganisms living in ice caves near the summit.
Really?
Yeah,
So even in the most unexpected places, life finds a way.
exactly. It's a testament to the adaptability and resilience of life on Earth.
Absolutely.
And speaking of unexpected discoveries,
Yeah.
Antarctica also has a musical side.
Wait, what? Antarctica has music.
It does.
Okay, this I gotta hear. Tell me more.
Have you ever heard of a singing ice shelf?
A singing ice shelf. You're messing with me.
I'm serious.
Are.
The Ross Ice Shelf,
Okay.
which is the largest ice shelf in Antarctica.
Yeah.
It's been found to produce a continuous seismic hum,
What?
like a low-frequency song.
What's making that noise? Is it some kind of creature?
It's actually the wind.
The wind.
Yeah.
How's the wind making music?
As the wind blows across the snow dunes on the surface of the ice shelf,
Okay.
it generates vibrations.
Okay.
And those vibrations resonate through the ice,
Creating this hum.
creating this continuous seismic hum.
So it's like the wind is playing a giant instrument.
Yeah, it is.
But we can't hear it, right?
Right, it's too low frequency for the human ear to detect.
Okay. So how do we know it's happening?
Scientists have installed seismic sensors
Oh, okay.
on the ice shelf
Gotcha.
to capture the song.
Okay. And what have they learned from listening to it?
Well, the song actually changes
Oh, really?
in response to environmental factors like melting and storms.
Wow. So it's like the ice shelf is communicating with us,
Yeah, and
telling us about its health and the changes it's going through.
exactly.
That's pretty incredible.
It is.
Wow, this whole deep dive has been one wild ride after another.
Yeah, it has.
We've gone from ancient rainforests and hidden mountain ranges to singing ice shelves and giant sand dunes.
It's amazing what you find in Antarctica.
It is.
It really is a land of extremes and contradictions.
It is. It's where ice and fire coexist,
Oh.
where deserts and volcanoes share the same landscape, where the wind makes music on a giant ice shelf.
It's a reminder that our planet is full of wonder and mystery,
Absolutely.
even in the most remote and challenging environments.
Okay, so before we wrap this up completely,
Yeah.
I still can't get this idea of a tropical rainforest in Antarctica out of my head.
I know it's a wild one.
It is. I need to know more.
Okay, well, the video actually dives into the scientific evidence that supports this seemingly impossible idea.
Okay, so there's more to it than just speculation.
There is. It's more compelling than you might think.
Okay, well, I'm all ears. Let's hear it. All right, you've been talking about this tropical rainforest in Antarctica, and I gotta say, I'm hooked. It's hard to imagine palm trees and ferns where penguins roam today.
It does seem impossible, right? But
Yeah.
when you start looking at all the evidence,
Yeah.
it starts to paint a really fascinating picture.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's assemble this puzzle. What's the first piece?
Well, we got to go back to those fossils we discussed.
Right.
The dinosaurs, the birds, the ancient plant remains.
Right.
All of those really point to a much warmer, more hospitable Antarctica than we see today.
Okay, yeah, those fossils definitely suggest a warmer climate, but what about a rainforest specifically? Is there more to it than just those fossils?
Yes, there is. So the video also highlights the geological evidence.
Okay.
And remember that hidden mountain range we talked about?
Yeah.
Well, the bedrock beneath the ice sheet tells a story of a very different environment.
What kind of story? What does it say?
Scientists have found evidence of ancient soils and rock formations that are characteristic of tropical environments.
Really?
Yeah, these formations contain minerals and sediments that form in warm, humid conditions.
Okay, so that suggests.
Yeah, it suggests that Antarctica was once covered in lush vegetation, possibly even rainforests.
Okay, so we have fossils suggesting a warmer climate. We have geological evidence pointing to tropical environments.
Right.
Is there anything else?
Well, the video also mentions something called paleoclimate data.
Paleoclimate data.
Yeah, and it's basically analyzing things like ancient ice cores
Okay.
and sediment samples to reconstruct past climates.
Gotcha. So what does that data tell us?
Well, it suggests that temperatures in Antarctica were significantly warmer millions of years ago.
Really?
Yeah, with evidence of abundant rainfall, which would be perfect conditions for a rainforest.
Okay, so we got the fossils, we've got the geology, we've got the climate data.
Yeah, it's all pointing to.
It's all pointing to a tropical rainforest in Antarctica.
It really changes our perception of Antarctica.
Yeah, it's not just this eternally frozen wasteland that we see today.
Right. It's a continent that's gone through some pretty dramatic transformations over millions of years.
That's wild.
It is.
And those transformations bring us back to those powerful forces that we talked about.
Yeah. The global climate change and shifts in ocean currents.
So those are likely the reasons why Antarctica transitioned from a potential rainforest to the frozen desert we know today.
Right.
It's amazing how those forces can reshape entire continents
It is.
over millions of years.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what could happen to our planet if current climate trends continue.
Yeah, I mean, could we see equally dramatic changes in our lifetime?
That's the unsettling question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Those ancient changes happened over millions of years.
Yeah.
But the changes we're seeing today are happening much, much faster.
Yeah. That's a little scary to think about.
It is. But, it's also a reminder
Yeah.
to be mindful of our impact on the planet
Totally.
and to take action to mitigate climate change.
Absolutely. This whole deep dive has been such a wild ride.
It has, right?
I mean, incredible discoveries.
Yeah.
Sobering reminders about the power of nature
Wow.
and the importance of understanding our planet's history.
Yeah. And it all started with a YouTube video claiming that Elon Musk revealed some terrifying truth about Antarctica.
I know, it's funny how these things start, right?
It is.
And we went on this journey of exploring this incredible continent
Yeah.
and uncovering all these fascinating facts.
I think for me, the biggest takeaway is that realization that everything is connected.
Yeah, I agree. That volcanic eruption in Tonga, the movement of sand dunes in Antarctica,
It's all connected.
it's all connected and we're all a part of this web of life, and it's up to us to protect it.
Absolutely. Well said.
Well, thanks to all of you for joining us on this incredible journey to Antarctica.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the fascinating world of knowledge and discovery, too.